Oh, it's time for a porch swing chat. It's summer. Excuse the background noise. That's air conditioner going on. It's hot. So stay tuned. Hello folks, welcome back to Pine Meadows Hobby Farm. I'm your host Jerry Hansen. Hey, time for the summer porch swing chat. Haven't had a chat for a while. I've been really busy. Just completed a 6-week vacation or staycation. Was planning to go to Europe, but that fell through the cracks because of the COVID virus. I ain't going nowhere, especially at my age. It's more vulnerable age group to the coronavirus, and I just didn't want to take any chances. So I figured I'd just hole up here at my little homestead in my little world. And I didn't regret any of it. I got a lot done, doing a lot of repairs and upkeep. And boy, that sun is shining. And got a project going on. And also, I gotta talk to you about that project here in a minute. I got a secret project I did too. And I won't reveal that until the time is right. So stay tuned to that video. So, what's been happening at the homestead? My goodness. I did the back fencing, the cross fencing for the goats when I was able to replace the garden fence with this 6.5 foot tall garden fence. I used the field fencing that was left over, pieced it together, and I was able to run it all through the, from one end almost to the other end. I still have this one section of fencing to go in the backyard. I'll replace that here probably in 2 weeks and finish using that piece of fencing over there, because I'm getting ready. That pasture, when I first designed this place and laid out the pastures, I laid that pasture out and designed it for a future livestock. That's right. Some of you may be thinking in the back of your mind, oh, he's getting a cow. No, we're not getting a cow. Don't need a cow. I got 2 nanny goats, or Nubian does. We'll be breeding this December, and we'll be getting the milk from them, which actually segues me into what that pasture is for. Now you got the hint. Yeah, I bought 2 little bucklings. These are registered paper bucklings. They were born this last spring. They're being bottle fed. We're finishing up bottle feeding them right now. When you bottle feed a goat, it's a lot more friendly. And yeah, I definitely want my bucks to be friendly. So I'm right now finishing off their pasture fencing. And then I'm also building them a little barn, utilizing what material I have left here on the homestead that I could use on their barn. Plus I have to buy new material, so I'll go ahead and buy new material. And I gathered all of my 16 foot by 4 foot high stock panels, and I'm going to be making 2 paddocks for the little goats. So they'll each have their own paddock, 16 foot by 16 foot. Adult male goat only is recommended to have 200 square feet, and I think that's enough. They have 200 square feet. Plus, I'll have the gates, and I can open the gates and release them onto their own little pasture that they can romp and frolic and graze, get some exercise, and not have to be cooped up in those little paddocks all the time. Primarily, their paddocks are for them to breed in, because I want to keep the does separate from the bucks, and I want to control the time when the babies are born and when the goats are bred. And that way, those stinky boys, when they get near the girls, the milk won't be tainted with buck taint. Ugh. Been working hard on the what used to be the Quack Shack. It is no longer the Quack Shack. It has now been christened officially the Gobbler Gallery. So from this day forward, this is the Gobbler Gallery. And the adjoining little structure here is the aviary. I managed to do a lot of repairs on the aviary, make sure it was all fortified. Nothing can get in, the little chicks can't get out, and we got safe livestock. And they also have a nice area for getting in out of inclement weather, staying dry. And one thing I have to build yet on that is the nesting boxes, but I have time, because these are still adolescent chicks. They're in no way ready to start laying eggs. So I got some time on my hands. The next one over is the duck pen. Once I get the pond scooped out and get all that silt pulled out of the pond, I'll refill the pond, and then I'll turn the ducks loose and use those panels over on the new goat paddocks, because those are the last two panels I need for the goat paddock to be able to finish that project up. Then I'll have that one 10-foot section of end section for the goat pen I can use on expanding the aviary. I have all the material left over from when I had my original aviary. We called it the Quack Shack, but it had a tarp over it, got loaded with snow, and it collapsed, so it bent some of the pipes. So all it takes is me going down to the hardware store. I need 4 3/4-inch conduit. That's all it is. We'll be able to piece it back together, get some more netting over the top, close it in, make sure the chicks are safe and the turkeys are safe, and then we'll have a aviary that is literally double in size. The total area of the aviary will then be 16 feet wide and 20 feet long. Plenty of room for turkeys. Then we got the bunny bungalow. I'm worked out on getting a screen built for that window. I am working on putting together this really cool watering system for them. I had a watering system installed prior, but it failed. So I just resorted back to these little bottles. I like these bottles. You fill them from the top. But I still want a top gravity feed water system. So stay tuned to that video. I'll be installing the same system on the bunny bungalow, the chicken coop, and the Gobbler Gallery. They'll all have the same type of waterer. Now the chicken coop, we got that hen that's having little chicks. I don't have a space for hens with chicks. You need to keep them separate from the rest of the population. So what I'm going to do is eventually build a separate area for hens with chicks. I also, as those chicks get older and they become roosters, I have to build a grow out pen for roosters, because I don't want the roosters all together with the hens. Those hens will get torn up. But going back to the bunny bungalow, we have the babies. I just bred the one rabbit the other day. So we're expecting more kits on July 17th. So look for that when that doe has babies. And then later that year, I'll be able to bundle them and sell a trios, like 2 does with a buck for $100. Yeah, and then we'll be able to butcher some and have a rabbit fest. Yeah, yum. We had rabbit before. Yes, rabbit is good. My wife says it tastes like turkey, and I have to agree with her. It does taste a little bit like turkey. So we had no success with geese at all this year, except for one successful gosling hatched out of what? How many eggs did I count this year? 36. Huge failure. I don't know why they decided they needed 30 eggs in their nest or 20 eggs in their nest before they started incubating them. Well, all the eggs rotted. Nothing hatched except for the one goose. She did really good. She actually hatched 3 babies. One died while it was hatching, one died right after hatching, and then one survived. So actually, I can't say 3. So I'm definitely building an incubator later this year for next year. Probably be one of my winter or fall projects is to build a little building specifically for a incubator with brooders. Yeah, because if I want to start making some money and helping pay back the farm on what these things cost me, I need to start producing stuff like that to be able to offset the cost of feed and hopefully make them buy all of their feed throughout the whole year. And that's my goal. Just if I break even, I'm happy, really happy. If I get a little bit of a profit, well, that just simply goes back into the farm. Like I got 2 building projects planned already coming up. You heard them. The goat barn, the little buck barn. I need to come up with a name for it. And then the brooder house. Ooh, I need to come up with a name for that. You know me. I have to name everything. So, what do we call that? Chicken coop is the biddy box, or the biddy barn. I think we called it the biddy barn. Yep. So, that's it in livestock. Bees! I'm so excited about the bees. Turned out to, it appears so far to be 4 total hives. I started out, I purchased 3 this spring. One hive totally absconded when the queen came out of her cage. She left with the whole hive. Oh boy, that was an expensive loss. I was so disheartened. But then I failed to keep an eye on the one colony and add a new brood chamber in a timely manner. So what happens to bees is when they feel overcrowded, they start creating queen cells and creating queens because they're overcrowded. That hive wants to swarm. So half the colony will go with a new queen, but I don't know why they created 7 queen cells. That was ridiculous. Anyway, no, it's the 8 queen cells. I had to destroy a couple of cells. It's just way too many. So I took the liberty of taking those frames with queen cells and putting them in my other 2 empty boxes. And now we've got a successful colony in each of those boxes. All 4 boxes have a nice colony. Next week is when I get to do my, no, actually it's in 2 weeks, is when I do my hive inspection. I do have to peek in on them next week to see if I need to add another brood chamber, because if they get overcrowded, I don't want them sensing that they have to swarm again. So I'll add another brood chamber to the 2 middle ones if I have to. I did add honey supers to the 2 outside ones, which are full of bees, and they will be able to create honey for us this year. One thing I do have to buy with my YouTube revenue this month is a honey extractor, so I'll be ordering that here next week. And we've been focusing a lot of attention on the garden, mainly weed control and getting the plants growing. The corn seems to be doing really well this year with my method that I've used for growing corn, which is different. Uh, yeah, so I got one more portion of the garden. I have yet to put more weed control down and more wood chips, and then I'll be done with the weed control stuff for the garden. I redid the raspberries. I've already harvested raspberries. I'm harvesting Swiss chard, that rainbow Swiss chard, which the seeds were a gift from one of my viewers in Canada. That was really special. I really touched that she did that for me. I just can't believe somebody would do that. That is so so very kind. So another project I've been working on behind the scenes is landscaping the front yard. Yeah. I've been bringing in a lot of soil for changing the contour of the front yard and getting that ready for planting grass and building a front deck. That will be coming probably this fall. So there's hints on three shows to look forward to: the brooder barn, the buck barn. Got to come up with decent names for those. And redoing the front yard and building the deck. Yeah. Actually, that'd be 4 videos because the front yard will be one video or one show, and then building the deck will be another show. We're getting closer to our inspection. I've got the permits. I just have to call for the inspection, but I want to be here when he comes. So I'm arranging to have it done on my next vacation, which is next month. I schedule the vacation every month for the rest of the year because I never took time off from work. I have so much earned time off built up in the bank that I have to use it. And so I'm going to be using it every month for the rest of the year. And that's going to be weird. Anyway, I'm going to schedule that inspection for the propane and get that finalized. And then later, as money allows, we'll add a second 500-gallon bottle and have it filled. And then we'll have 1,000 gallons of propane in inventory here on the property, which is forethought on my part because, we don't know what the economy is doing or it's going to do. That's number one. Number two is we're expecting this huge, major, catastrophic earthquake called the Cascadia earthquake. Look that up. Look at the video, YouTube presentations that the USGS has presented on the big earthquake and how it will impact our area. So with that, it will be good. Also, I'll be pulling permits for finalizing the solar power, which will also help us out during the crisis times. We don't know what's going to happen. It's a mystery, but we're going to be prepared. Well, that concludes my start of summer 2020 porch swing chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the information and just the casual conversation with my ambitions for the homestead. It'll eventually get finished. Gosh, if this homestead ever gets finished, what do I film? Oh well. Hey, check out the merchandise below. This shirt is in that merchandise. This is the Duck in a Cup logo on the shirt. I also have it on a coffee mug, a sticker, a couple of other things. I got a pullover hoodie with the Duck in a Cup also that I could wear in the fall and winter. Anyway, stay tuned to more videos. You could do that by, you're right, subscribing. Click that bell icon. That bell icon alerts you to new videos as I upload them. Also, please like the channel. Liking the channel really helps out the channel. Leave a comment if you will, and also click that share button. Share my videos on your social media platforms. Really helps us out a lot. I apologize for the background noise. The heat air conditioner is right there, and I hope the microphone kind of filtered a lot of that out. My apologies. Hey, we'll see you guys in the next adventure, all right? Stay safe. Bye-bye.